I would give a couple words of caution, though, in terms of someone who has been hurt in marriage through abuse, through adultery, through abandonment. I think it's so important for them to, first of all, restore their soul to God. I think when you've been hurt, I mean, even if you go back to high school, if one girl dumps you, you want to find another girl so you won't feel dumped and lonely or something. And I think sometimes the rebound effect can be dangerous, where you feel so hurt and broken that you're vulnerable to making a bad decision. I've seen some people who, a woman who divorces a bad man, for example, an abuser, then she marries another man just like that guy. And so I think that there's a lot of wisdom when someone has gone through a divorce to just make up their minds that you need to spend some time recovering spiritually, to grow in the Lord, and even to learn, what can I do to make sure this never happens again? That, what needs to happen to me? What made me susceptible perhaps to a person of bad character? Or what did I not see that I should have seen? I like Deepak Reju's book called She's Got the Wrong Guy, that kind of goes through the kinds of bad men that good women sometimes are tempted to marry. And in the introductory chapters of my book, I talk about, are you ready for marriage? Are you eligible for marriage? What do you need to be before you're married? What does this other person need to be? And so I think someone considering remarriage should go about it very slowly and cautiously. Get people who will ask the hard questions of your potential spouse. I've actually been in a position before where I kind of acted like the dad in the old movies where there wasn't a dad to do the job. And, asking a young man about his, are you struggling with porn? What are the relationships have you been in? Trying to discover, does this person have an issue with anger? And so I think just, yes, you asked the question, well, how do you examine a family history of divorce and avoid the patterns that led to it? You need to be around people with great marriages and learn what's happening there if you don't have a family that has that example for you to follow in your own immediate family. And so I think that, in the church, even couples discipling couples or singles seeing couples who are transparent and have healthy marriages. And then probably ultimately, like Jeremiah 17 describes, if you put your ultimate trust in men, it's going to go badly. You'll be like the bush in the desert, Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6. And we need to put our ultimate trust in God, so we don't need some other person ultimately to fulfill us. And then under God, a marriage can be an amazing blessing. I've been married for over 40 years to Caroline, whom I've known since high school. She wasn't interested in me then. We tried again in college, and that worked a lot better. And it's been the greatest earthly joy I've had, and it's drawn me closer to Christ. And I'm thankful for that blessing, and that's one reason I'm thankful to get to talk about marriage. And I would love to see the truths of Scripture centered in the gospel enable other people to experience the blessing that God has for us in marriage. Even though we've talked about the hard things, there are great and wonderful blessings that God has, where marriage helps us to understand the gospel. The gospel helps us to understand marriage. As there's grace in marriage, we grow.